2026 has felt like a year that has simultaneously gone on for decades and happened in a few seconds. So much has happened in the first 5 months of this year that it can be easy to lose track of what's going on in your favorite hobbies like gaming. Looking back, this year has had a solid swath of video games to enjoy in these trying times. With everything going on in the world, I haven't put out as many reviews as I'd like to, so let's fix that. I'm Andrew Hamilton, and today we are going to look at a few of the games I've played this year and the review scores that I gave them, and your video game checkpoint for 2026.
Today, a new chapter in this land's history shall be written.
I'll start off my list with one of the largest games of my year, Crimson Desert. Crimson Desert is like an abstract painting of a can. It's wonderfully crafted, beautiful on the surface, with complex brushstrokes and well-placed ideas applied to the canvas, but ultimately it is just a painting of a can. That's not to say that I didn't enjoy my time with the game. From a gameplay perspective, Crimson Desert is a massive open-world RPG full of monsters and bandits and magic. The combat is visceral and in-depth, letting you do anything from a traditional sword and board combo to full-on WWE wrestling moves that style all over your opponent's grave. Its world is gorgeously realized with an emphasis on exploration that drives you to push the boundaries of the game's mechanics. But much of what makes this game great is kind of aping what other games have already done a little bit better. From its stamina system to its various types of traversal, we've all seen it before. Its wide range of mechanics make it feel less masterful than it could have been, sort of a jack-of-all-trades situation. I really wish that Pearl Abyss had stripped away some of the excess and found a core to polish, honing in on more than just the combat for things like puzzles and the world to solve. But what Crimson Desert does bring is an incredible skeleton for something that is going to be even more impressive once it's built on, and I really do hope that Pearl Abyss takes it and runs. I gave this one an 8 out of 10. For as long as I can remember, Pokemon has been in my life. Most of that time was spent hitting the tagline goal of gotta catch 'em all, a sort of must-do purpose for the games that has gone mostly unevolved, pun intended, in the 30 years of the franchise. That is until Pokemon Pokopia. Pokopia took the world of Pokemon and stretched it over the concepts of games like Animal Crossing and Dragon Quest Builders, delivering one of the most laid-back, fun island simulation games I've ever played. Playing as a lost Ditto in a post-human world trying to rebuild some semblance of a habitat that would maybe bring back their beloved humans is such a genius idea that I can't believe we hadn't already done it. Pokopia is less about checking certain monsters off of a list, though there is that in the game, and more about building community with your fellow Pokemon. Its crafting is accessible and intuitive, and the writing is surprisingly excellent. Because who knew that the Pokegod of the Sea had a deep southern accent? I would have never guessed. The further into Pokopia's story I got, the more unique environments I unlocked, and the more Pokemon I rescue, the more engrossed in the world I was creating I became. Pokemon Pokopia is a game of curiosity, exploration, and revitalization, delivering a cozy, safe, and creatively satisfying experience with no threat of real danger. I grew up longing to be a part of the Pokemon world. Pokopia, 30 years later, has finally given me that sensation. And the best part is I got to share it with my daughter. I gave this one an easy 9. When Housemarque and PlayStation first unveiled Seiros, I was intrigued but a little unsure. Much like the roguelike structure of the game itself, the trailer gave me a sense of repetition, with much of what I saw taking me back to Housemarque's previous game for the PS5, Returnal, another roguelike sci-fi epic about a stranded person on an unfamiliar alien planet suffering from different kinds of amnesia and trying to discover what happened and how to get off the planet. But then I sat down and played the game, and I was shocked by how wrong I was, and also how right I was. Because when compared to Returnal from a gameplay perspective, there is so much more nuance here than Returnal ever had. On top of that, the story is way more cohesive, with Raul Colai giving an award-worthy performance as Seiros' bitter and broken protagonist, and visuals that are a feast for the eyes. Seiros delivers a thrilling and addictively fun gameplay loop too, where your runs only extend to longer and longer as your game progresses and you unlock more areas. Yes, death resets your progress, but there's a meaningful upgrade system that makes each run feel like you're improving and getting a little better. On top of that, there are some truly satisfying weapons and power-ups that make the world of Seiros feel unlike anything you've experienced and makes that death well worth the ride. Seiros may not be for everyone though. The combat can get incredibly chaotic and brutal at times, and the final fight in particular I can't imagine everyone is going to be super thrilled with. But once you do master all the mechanics in this game, the journey is well worth the price of admission. I gave Seiros a 9.
Whatever his endgame is, we won't see it coming.
Let's wrap things up with an ongoing review that I haven't quite finished, but am so excited to talk about: 007 First Light. James Bond has been a staple in my household since I was a child. I've seen every movie, played pretty much every game, and read a good chunk of the books. So when I heard that IOI Interactive, makers of the excellent Hitman series, were bringing the next iteration of the International Spy to life, I was ecstatic. What a perfect match. But I had to wonder if this was just going to be James Bond reskinned under the Hitman formula. Well, after 10 plus hours with the game, I'm happy to report that First Light is something entirely new. One part James Bond, one part Hitman, and one part Uncharted. I've been playing First Light pretty much non-stop since it released at any chance that I get. The story follows a young Bond as he is brought into a rebooted 007 program, which gives us one of the most inventive tutorials I've ever played, as Bond training montages his way through parkour, hand-to-hand combat, and firearms training to get through the program. First Light brings that signature suave spy swagger to its social engineering gameplay, allowing for open-ended missions that allow you to tackle them however you want. Maybe Bond can sneak into this fancy pants chess party by simply blending in and grabbing a press badge from a carefully eavesdropped location. Or you can take the riskier approach and scale the side of the building, entering into a restricted area that you're going to need to sneak your way through. If you do choose the sneakier option, you get to use one of my favorite tools in the game, the new bluff button. This acts as a sort of gauge that Bond gets to spin to charm his way out of confrontations, allowing you to slip by on good looks and quick thinking. Spend it all on your way in? No worries, just pull off some sick spy stuff and you'll quickly recharge it. You also have some excellent saucy spy gadgetry courtesy of Q, like a laser watch that you can use to cut through objects and blind enemies. James is also a capable brawler, which IOI took to heart when they crafted their kinetic combat system, which has a surprising amount of depth. I'm still in the weeds of First Light with my full written and video review coming out later this weekend, but if the back half of this game is as good as the first half, it will easily earn my top praises and be a huge contender for the Game of the Year. Those are just a few of the phenomenal games that have released this year, and mostly it's just the ones that I've played that I've really liked. There have been plenty of games that I didn't like. If you want to see those reviews, go to our website. As we round the corner into June, it was nice to look back and remember that even when the world is thrown into chaos, there are still people making some excellent art for us to escape into. The rest of the year is looking to be packed with heavy hitters, so be sure to subscribe to us over on YouTube so you don't miss a single review. For Hardwired, I'm Andrew Hamilton.